Welcome to another example in IronCAD from Tutorial Toby's practice models dated 8/6/2024. This is a wrench model, so we'll go ahead and create this one. This is not too awful complex, but it does involve some standard shapes that we'll use to place our start and end locations, and then we have to create a sweep path to basically create this model here in the top, or between the two, that has this profile on the right hand side. So not too over complex on this model. Just one key to mention that is just 234.02 to get this to work here smoothly with these tangents and everything. So let's just hop over to IronCAD and show you how this is done. So this is the finished product of the model, so I'll just go ahead and show you how that is done. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that, and I'll start here. So what I did to build this model is really just start with our catalog shapes, and I started with the cylinder out here to begin with, which is our base cylinder, which will give you a dimension of 50 for the diameter. The height of this is sitting at 32. So that gives us our starting point for that. And the next, I'm going to drag and drop an extrude out here, and I'm just going to do a couple things here. I'm just going to slide it down here to the bottom, and I'm going to move this one here. Just right click on that. I'm going to say go ahead and snap that to the center point of this, so it's aligned right in the center, and then we can set these values for this. So this cube, I'm going to actually move this one more time, so I'll show you why in a second. So this cube that they give you here is actually 54 long, so we'll go ahead and type 54 long, and in the width wise of this guy, we are sitting at, let me look at the dimensions here, we have 60 for the width, and the height of that guy is basically just a math formula of 76 minus 46. So that's our height for that thing. So that's our block that we need to move out here to this new location. But the way this is positioned, it has that 234 from the center of this to the outside of this. So what I'm going to do is just turn on my tri-ball, and I'm going to move it down to the bottom edge of this part. And I was going to do it an easy way. I just snap down to the bottom edge of this part, and I'm going to move it over to the far outside point here as well. And the reason I'm going to do that is I'm going to move this right back to the center point of this. So it's actually this one that needed to be on the center point, which we could have done initially. I just did the wrong direction. But anyways, we'll just continue on. So we've got this in the location where it needs to start, and then we just need to right click, move that out to the exact location that they give us, which is 234.02 for that dimension there. And it also, from the bottom of the ground to the bottom of the part, it is 46 units high, so 46 there. So we'll go ahead and hit the 46 for that, because we've got our tri-ball at the bottom of this part, so the bottom to the bottom of this is 46. So that's an easy way to do that, or you could have done it from the top on as well, to 76 from the top. So that's in the two positions that we have for this, and we can go ahead and add some other things that don't really matter here. So we can do these blends here, which actually are a what they call a full round blend. So we have the top face here, and you hit tab, and I'm going to do a Control-Alt click to get to the other face there, to get the second face, and I'll hit tab one more time to get the center face. So that's just going to give us a 30, since this is 60 wide, that'll give us a 30 radius on that end there. Next, these outside edges here are blended as well, so we'll just go ahead and put a blend on those, which have a radius of 10. So we'll just type in 10 for that one. And again, we can rotate around or just hit Control-Alt-click, and we're going to get that edge on the back side there. And we can say OK to apply that. So that will give us that shape. So I'm not going to do the cutouts yet. I'll do those last, because we're going to build this model into here, because we have some dimensions that refer to that. So what we're going to do is go ahead and create a 2D sketch for our path, and then we'll do our profile and our sweep for this. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and do a 2D shape, and I'm just going to do a normal to face at this point down here, and we want to do that location there, so we'll do the origin point there for that. So we've got origin point here, normal to that face, and we can go ahead and hit OK. So this flip this around, which is fine. We just rotate around. Use our look at tool, which is an F7 key you can use as a hotkey, or just click on it at the bottom there. So now we've got this the way we want to do this, and a couple things we know. First of all, we'll go ahead and just do 2-point lines here just to show this. So I'll draw this line out here. We know this one's got a length of 60 on that side, and we'll do the same from here. And this one, I'm just going to start here, or you can move it here if you like. We're going to draw a line here that's also 60 as well. One thing we do know, this line has to be moved up. We're going to measure it from the bottom of that part. If we just put a dimension from there to there, we want that to be 4 millimeters. That's going to be the bottom of our profile to the bottom of this curve here. So that will give us our starting points for that. Next, we wanted to go ahead and do a polyline here. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and pick our point, and I'm going to switch this over to a toggle arc line. So what we're going to do is make sure we are going to draw this arc here. So we're just move that out to draw like this. And what we're going to do is just going to place this up here by hitting the right click on our key, on our mouse, sorry. And the radius for that is actually 75, and the angle is a -33 for that. So that's going to give us our location point for our first shape here. Next, what we want to do is we're going to draw that line from here. So we'll just go ahead and draw this 2-point line. I'm just going to show you this. We'll just draw that off. And you can see it gives us a tangency there. So we're just going to draw it out to this location there. So if you want to do this with constraints, you can, or you can do it other ways. But what we're going to do next is going to do a 2 tangents and 1 point. So we're going to do a tangent to that curve and a tangent to that. And we're going to move out here and right click. And the radius for this one is 50. So that will give us that profile, and we can just extend this curve there, which should be tangent to that, and it's going to be connected directly to that point as well. So now if we just go and use our trim command right here, we can actually trim that arc, and that would trim us directly right there where it needs to be inside of there. So you can put dimensions on this if you want and do all the constraints, or you can just click on these and see the values for all this information inside of here. So if you really wanted to, you can go and add all the dimensions just to show that you've got this set up correctly. You can, you don't really have to, but you know, just to set those there. And it's just rounding to the nearest values outside of there. But anyways, that's the values for this inside of there, and we can actually put this one on as well if you like. Put the 60 on that as well. So I've got the tolerances pretty high at the moment. Oops, one more over here as well. So that's where you're seeing, oops, we want not the point, we want the actual curve there. So you can see that one as well. So you can see those values there for the curve and profile. That is our path that we want. So next we'll go ahead and hit finish to that. And next we're going to do another 2D shape. And this time we're going to do a normal to curve at point, and we're going to select this curve. And the easiest way to do this is select down here and say arc length, and it'll set it to 0 and move it right to the end there for us, which is fine. We'll go ahead and OK. And now we're going to draw this profile here. So I'm going to just draw it in space here a little bit, and then I'll just move it down into this location instead of building with the sword. You can build it in place. It's up to you, however you like to draw that. But let's draw it out here. So what we're going to do is going to draw this out, and we know this has a length of 30. Sorry, the width on this is 22 and 30 on side of this. So this long edge here is our 30. This is our 22 value. So a couple things that it has as notes here. There's 4 millimeters on each side of this, and it's at an angle from that location. So what we're going to do is just going to offset this 4 millimeters, and we're just going to select this curve here, and see, we can select that one as well to go ahead and create those 2 profiles. And then we can simply just drag these in a little bit here, so we can just drag, if I can get a hold of this one, here we go. There we go. We can just drag that one in as well. And what we can do is turn on, if you don't have them on already, is this curve dimensions. And when you select on these, you'll see that the value there. So this one needs to be a -110 for that one. And this one over here, we select this one, is going to be a -70 to count for basically, oops, to count for that a 20 degrees on each one of those locations. And then we can just trim off these bottom 2 and add a fillet to our intersection point, which has a radius of 6 inside of there. So that's basically our profile that we needed to build there, and we can just trim off that middle section for that part. And now we just need to get this on the other end, so we can just delete this profile. We're going to actually put a center line on here first. We'll put a center line right on the center of this midpoint here to there. Now we can do our mirror by selecting this, do our mirror about this profile here. You can see the preview there showing you that where it's going. We hit OK, and that will give us our shape. And now we can select all of this and use the move command. Essentially, I'm going to hide those curve dimensions again so I can get my point. Move that down to this location there, which is our start location, and hit finish. Okay, so that's our profile that we have, and now we can simply do the sweep command, which will use this part as part of our part there. And it's going to select our profile automatically because we had it selected, and we can just change our guide curve to be this 3D curve that we've created. So that will create our shape that we need for that model. So that's our essentially creating our sweep path and the smooth path on the bottom of this side. So next we have to do just our last 2 cuts here. So we can drag and drop a cut onto this model. And I'm just going to show you this. You can do it and extrude through, but We can do it in multiple ways, but we'll just drop this out here. And we know this, this shape here is got a 26 by 26, so we can just right click and drag, type in 26, and do the same thing for these other handles and type in 26. And either just pull this all the way through or just snap it to the bottom side. So that's one for that shape. We can do the same for this one, or we can copy that shape up there, or just drag and drop another shape to this location. You can line this up if you like. You don't really have to, but it helps give you some measurements. Again, the width of this thing is 26 inside of there. We're going to snap it down to the bottom, and we know the length of this is actually 36. So it gives us an exact dimension for that. So we know it from that edge. So that's a good reason to align it there, so you know that exact dimension. And last, we just need to add one blend here that's got a 7 millimeter blend there and there. So I select that one and hit OK to apply that. So that's all it takes to build this model in IronCAD. So basically what this will do is when you go to your properties with a 7800 mass density, they'll give you 1428 for the mass in grams. So that's how you can build that model here using IronCAD. Its capabilities, again using just a standard sketching here for the middle section and our drag and drop components, kind of mixing the best of both worlds here in IronCAD. Hopefully you enjoyed.